Welcome to a Management Plus training webinar. My name is Kevin Sloan. I'm a certified electronic health record specialist and certified ophthalmic technician. Management Plus is an industry leader in EHR, and we want to provide you with the documentation tools and the skills to use these tools proficiently. Today's training webinar is titled Examination. Let's get started. We have our favorite test and demo patient, Mr. Bob Hope, on the screen in front of us. We have accessed the examination form by clicking the word examination in the form tree on the left-hand side. As you can see, it is clearly laid out with the anterior segment section on the top and posterior segment section on the bottom. There are at least 7 different methods to get data into these controls. These are memo fields. This is where you'll document your findings upon examination. Let's take a look at some of the various methods that you can get data into these controls. One is you can pick from the list, and upon exiting that control, which can be accomplished by either clicking into another control or by pressing tab, it will put the value into this control here. 2 is a keyword macro, which is accessed by doing Control A on your keyboard, and if there is a keyword in there, you can certainly use that. This one is actually set up more as a plan versus a clinical finding, but just for demonstration purposes. Third option is you can just physically type into this. So you can type basically anything you need to. And continue on, and you'll see at least 2 lines, but it will scroll infinitely. Fourth, you can click normal, and we'll put normal values back into these controls here. 5, you can click last findings. If the patient had a record in the past, it will put the last findings that were documented. This is not necessarily the last visit, but it's the last time they were documented. If you had documented the right and the left eye on their first visit, on their second visit you did just the right, and then when they came back for the third visit, if you click last findings, you would get the values for the right eye from the last visit, but the values for the left eye from the very first visit. So have to be careful about that. You can always right click and choose import page value. Choose the record of choice that you want to import those values from and click OK. That particular record that I chose did not have any values. Let's just choose this one, see if that one does. No, that one doesn't either. Sometimes I save records without having any values. Let's find one. Let's right click and do previous visit value. So it looks like on this one it's just 10/9/15 was the date that I had some values in that. Okay, let's try that one. No, nothing on that one either. So if they had some values documented on those dates, a lot of them don't, it would just populate that back into this. You can always have a script button macro, such as a button that says mild cataract, and upon clicking that button that said mild cataract, it would put those values in here, and then of course populate everything else with normal values. That's certainly the number 7th option there. These are copy buttons, so if you chose something like epiphora here and wanted to copy it to that eye, you could. This is a copy button that moves everything from the right to the left, and everything here from the left to the right by doing that, and then this will copy one at a time from the left to the right, and that's from the right to the left. Okay. These are drawings here. These can be accessed by just left clicking one time. When the drawing appears, left click one more time, then you're free to draw. My recommendations here is to just start a drawing, click on each of these buttons, just kind of see what they do. I'll demonstrate a few things. These are stamps. I'm going to put a tritium on here. I'll just left click the tritium once, left click one more time, release the mouse key, make the box the size I want, left click one more time. Let's put a little hemorrhage here and there. Now let's draw a little SPK. I'm going to click the brush. I'll choose green. The size, I'll choose 4. And now we have a little SPK that we can draw onto this. Very easily done. Click the done button and now it's finished. Let's try one over here. A little bit different drawing. I'm going to left click once. I'm going to actually click the picture button. I'm going to draw the box to cover that, and it can access any location on my computer. Let's choose this one. Okay, now I have an entirely different drawing that I can begin to draw on. Let's put a little SPK in both of these eyes. By default it is set to green since I used it the last time, and the size is the same as the last time as well. Let's put a little dendrite over here. There we go. Click the arrow to select it. I can move it if necessary. I can move it right over to this since this is actually one image. Click done and I'm all set. Scrolling down, we have the posterior segment section. Works exactly like the anterior segment section. We'll just click normal onto this. Drawings work the same. Lens control is down below. To the right hand side of the screen we have our diagnoses, where our diagnosis, eye, impression, and plan is located. Again, there are 7 different ways to document data within this. Memo field for each section. Just like this, same process, except you don't have a pick list to choose from. So I would make it only 6. One of the more favorite methods of getting data into this, second to just free text, is to use the quick plan macros. I have one set up. There are actually 7 of them here. I have one set up for cataract. Clicking that, there are at least 7 different plan macros that you can build on your own. I have one at this point. You can click mild cataract, and you can see that it puts the data in there. You can have as much or as little as you want. Click done. We'll make that go away. These quick plan macros are accessed by clicking this button here. That will be covered in a separate training webinar. You can see that I have some diagnoses here. They do correspond exactly with what I have in the blue banner at the top, which come forward on each record. By clicking the potential diagnosis button, it launches the potential diagnosis window, and based on the specific words that were chosen within the specific pick lists, it will display specific potential diagnoses. Not all of the items within the pick list will trigger potential diagnoses, but most of them will. So you can see here we have epiphora, and so we have this one and this one as well. Epiphora is in both the right and the left eye, so we have potential diagnoses specific to both eyes. If it was just in one eye or the other, the code would be different and it would display the separate eye on there. You may notice here where it says no rubeosis or cyst, it actually triggers the rubeosis potential diagnoses because it's looking for the word rubeosis. So if you pick it from the list or just type it in there, just rubeosis, it will display that. Even if you choose no rubeosis, it will also do that. So we have injection mild here, and you can see it is bilateral. We do have that in the left eye. If you need more or less of these potential diagnoses or different ones, your EHR specialist can take care of that customization for you. If you wanted to move one of these to the various diagnosis controls to the right, essentially you would just click the item, and let's say we want to put that in number 4. I'll choose number 4, and it will move that over there. You can overwrite these others. Click this, and let's put this in number 3, and it will just overwrite what's there if you so choose to. Okay. You'll indicate the eye here. Okay. And you can just press tab. Early, moderate, advanced, stable, progressive, or improved. So it is recommended to indicate the eye and the impression on there. The ICD-10 has the eye on this, so if you want to leave the eye off, certainly not a problem. Here on this one, it does not specify the eye, so it's a good idea to get in the habit of indicating the eye over here, even though it may say that is part of it. But based on your documentation preferences, you'll want to choose one or the other option. Okay, you have 7 sections here where you have the memo associated with it, and then down below 8 through 12, these are just for extra diagnoses. They will not have a plan control associated with that. Below that is the follow-up section where you'll indicate when you want the patient to come back and what for. There are a few macros here: 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and then a year. Again, your EHR specialist can customize this, build more, less, and put in these lists whatever you need to have documented based on your scheduling types. The patient management section is to document the names of the physicians that referred the patient to you, who the primary care doctor is, who's co-managing, and who you want to refer them to. These buttons are word merges. These can be set up with your specific office logo and heading, and can merge into each of these as much or as little information as you would want. You can see we have a diabetic letter here, one for a specific physician in this office, and then another diabetic letter for this physician, since they like it a little bit different, and then a Plaquenil. These are all on the same line, since they do merge in the name here that's documented. If you have a name here documented, it will merge that name into the letter, and same with all of these. You can have as many or as few of these letters as you need to. The patient education section, by clicking this, it automatically gives you the tick. It says provided to patient. If you have educational materials within your patient education module, you can double click. It will move them from the left to the right, or you can drag and drop, and it will move those to the left, from the left to the right side. Clicking OK will print those out to your default printer. If you give hard copy information, you can simply click the checkbox, set the flag there to document that you have provided educational resource material to the patient. This concludes the training on the examination form. Thank you very much for your attention.